Rocky is going to be such a popular toy. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want one. Welcome to Baby Yoda 2.0. This week, we're taking a look at the highly anticipated sci-fi blockbuster, Project Hail Mary.
Oh my god. So, I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, which was a concern for a little while.
So, did it live up to the hype? Directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller of 21 Jump Street, Spider-Verse, and the Lego Movie here bring their animation and comedic sensibilities to the table to provide what is one of the most fun and entertaining movies I have seen in years. Project Hail Mary is based on a novel from the Martian author Andy Weir, and it follows a middle school teacher played by the very likable Ryan Gosling, who wakes up on a spaceship with amnesia. Through flashbacks, we discover he is on a mission to a distant planet in the hope of preventing our sun from dying. Along the way, he encounters an alien whom he dubs Rocky, from another distant galaxy with the very same mission. Together, the two must work together to find a way to communicate, and maybe even become friends, in the hope of finding a solution to saving their respective worlds. Man, Andy Weir has a gift for making science cool, doesn't he? I'm not going to bury the lead here. Project Hail Mary is far and away my favorite film release so far this year. This is why I go to the movies and why I wanted to become a filmmaker in the first place. The escapism, the spectacle, the sense of wonder, awe, and joy, just being swept away on this journey. This is the kind of movie I loved as a child. I mean, it's the kind of movie I still love to this day. As a kid, I would go outside and sit under the night sky looking up at the stars, hoping a UFO would come down, show me their spaceship, and take me to their distant world. I might have been kind of a weird kid. This movie scratches so many of my cinematic itches, it is insane. This movie was literally made for me. And the themes here, they resonate deeply. I mean, the reluctant hero forced into something only to discover he has far more capacity and potential than he ever realized. The film highlights the power of friendship and perseverance, the importance of finding something or someone in your life that gives you the strength to overcome and become the best version of yourself. Okay, that was a little cheesy, but you know what? Too bad.
Get over it.
Ryan Gosling is very likable here, charming and charismatic. This is one of his best roles yet. He's a bit of a clumsy goofball, but a smart one. I mean, this ain't Ken. Most of the film is a one-man show, and he carries it with ease. He's entering this new era of his career that's this relatable everyman, similar to what Tom Hanks used to be. His co-star Rocky is fucking awesome. He's such a just fun and lovable character, and he's incredibly emotive despite his simplistic design. I mean, he looks like this literal just walking crab monster, and he doesn't even have a face. I mean, it's a big swing that could have backfired, but it works shockingly well. He's almost like this cross between, I guess, like E.T. and maybe WALL-E.
E.T. phone home.
Wow. And he's created mostly with these animatronics and puppetry, which is cool because you can feel his like tactical physicality in a way that CGI just couldn't have pulled off. There's this real heart and soul here between the actor and Rocky, between Ryan and this puppet, that makes their emotion and their bond feel incredibly authentic and real. I also want to give a special shout out to the immaculate sweeping score and badass fun needle drops. I've been listening to this soundtrack on repeat ever since I got out of the theater. While coming in at a whopping 2 hours and 36 minutes, this film is remarkably well paced and edited. It moves at a really quick clip. It moves with excellent transitions. They utilize this spinning camera throughout the film where you're in space and everything is like upside down or sideways, and then we'll flash back to the present and we're still upside down or sideways. And it takes us a moment to like recombobulate and realize where we're at, but then the frame writes itself up, and it just works remarkably well. Man, this film was beautifully shot. Cinematographer Greg Fraser of Dune and the Batman utilizes IMAX in a way that Nolan does. I mean, sometimes I find it really jarring and odd when a movie jumps between the two shifting aspect ratios. You go from 2:3:5 and then suddenly you're wide, IMAX, but then when you're jumping back and forth every few seconds, like shot to shot, that takes me out of the movie. But here they don't do that. They save the heightened aspect ratio of IMAX for all the space sequences, making it that much more epic, that much more expansive. But they save the 2:3:5 for everything that's earthbound. The flashbacks and revelations throughout are well implemented and never feel like they're slowing down the story or detracting from the narrative. In fact, they only enhance it. And this is something really hard to do, especially with a film of this length. Some might complain that the movie's overlong, but I myself never found myself getting bored. If you're old, young, man, or woman, this will play well with anyone. And the box office is already reflecting that. This had the second biggest domestic box office for a non-franchise film in cinema history, just behind Oppenheimer, coming in at almost $80 million this past weekend. Luckily, this film doesn't set itself up for a sequel or a spin-off. I mean, thank God. Finally, a standalone new film that's not trying to become some franchise. The movie is one and done, telling its own unique story, and then it goes out on its own terms, which is fantastic. We need more of that. So this film feels like it has 2 or 3 different endings, but honestly, with how much I was loving the film, I would have been okay with 4 or 5. I just did not want this movie to end. The final scene went much more sci-fi than I anticipated, but without getting into heavy spoilers, I'll say it was very much my jam. All right, let's talk Oscars. This could be nominated for several things. I could definitely see this getting a score nomination, possibly cinematography for Frasier. It could get visual effects and production design, possibly. Those are maybe on the fence. The one I'm really hoping for is a Best Picture nomination, and it could do it, guys. I honestly feel like if this continues to have strong word of mouth and remains in the conversation until December, this could be this year's F1. Only way better. Pros. Heartwarming, wholesome story about friendship and perseverance. Visually just gobsmacking spectacular. It's stunning. Incredible score. Cons. It's perhaps a little bit too long for some. Length didn't really bother me. It might be a little bit too jokey at the beginning for some. The fact that, we're dealing with world-ending stakes and we're kind of jokey and lighthearted about it didn't bother me. I thought the tone was great. And I suppose you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. I mean, we're dealing with pseudoscience here, and the whole translation of an alien language happens very quickly and a little bit too easily. I scratched my head at that a bit, but you're just so invested in the characters and the story at that point, I could honestly care less. We're just along for the ride. While maybe a touch too long, this is large-scale, feel-good, blockbuster spectacle with tons of heart done right. This is why we love going to the movies. I laughed. I cried. I was dazzled. I was left speechless. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's deeply moving. Rousing and inspirational, Project Hail Mary is a crowd pleaser and an instant sci-fi classic. Without question, this film gets my highest score. Project Hail Mary is
Absolute Cinema.
In other words, this film gets 2 big thumbs up. You'll get that reference once you see the movie. If you guys like this video, consider becoming a Sun Up Cinephile by liking and subscribing. And tune in every week. I'll be giving my unique insight in all things movies, TV, reviews, breakdowns, and entertainment news. What's your favorite space exploration film?
Fist my bump.